Dear all, my name is Christoph Neri or JC Neri, the pen name I have in some earlier decades used. You can just call me JC if Christoph is a problem for you, happening to be a non-Hungarian. Now, you all know me, or rather, those of you whose papers I have edited for this conference all know me, and you know me from my worst side, namely as an authoritarian editor. But actually, there is an even worse side. I have my side as a philosopher. And let me tell you that as a philosopher, I am deeply unhappy with the results the 10 years of the Budapest Visual Learning Conference series have produced. I'm so unhappy with those results that I have thrown away my text plus talking standard video. I do not want you just now to look at yet another text. Do look at the PDF with images I have uploaded weeks ago, if you like, but just now look at me, look into my eyes, and let me look into your eyes. What I am complaining about is the state of image philosophy, notwithstanding our efforts, and especially the state of image philosophy as most of our German colleagues absent from this conference practice it. They call it Bildwissenschaft, with that Bildwissenschaft consisting in talking about mere words, words referring to pictures, but with the whole enterprise not actually dealing with pictures, showing pictures, analyzing pictures. Now, here I could pretend to make a concession, since we, of course, have to realize that the fundamental dimension of images at all is that of mental images. And clearly, it is impossible to directly display images we have in our minds. However, German Bildwissenschaft characteristically avoids the topic of mental images, so neither does German image philosophy start from where it ought to start, nor does it continue the way it ought to continue. Say, with the exception of Professor Stelger and his school, today's Germans are on the wrong road. The right road, I believe, is to begin with a discussion of the role of mental image. That is what I had done in the PDF I have uploaded, and that is the direction that I now summarize in my present nutshell video talk. The title of my PDF is Suppression, Depression, Pictorial Pressure, the road from Freud to Arnheim. Now, the force of some mental images, specifically of dream images, was classically investigated by Sigmund Freud. Dreams, Freud proposed, cover up what they are actually about. In my PDF, you can see a cartoon which beautifully explains Freud's theory of dreams. In the history of psychoanalysis, upon Freud there follows Carl Gustav Jung, and both were influenced by Francis Galton, who late in the 19th century worked out a theory of mental images that had a very wide impact. But let me come to Jung, and especially to his famous notion of collective unconscious, the contents of which are constituted of archetypes, primordial images showing up in our dreams. Jung urged his patients to translate into paintings their dreams and fantasies. The method he used for healing his patients, Jung also applied to his own problems. He kept some notebooks in which he entered his neurotic fantasies and accompanied them by paintings. I reproduce some of them in my video. Jung had an obvious influence on the German art school Staatliches Bauhaus, which in turn had an impact on Gestalt psychologist and art philosopher Rudolf Arnheim. I believe Arnheim to be the most important image theorist to date. I guess if one wants to pursue image philosophy, even today, one first ought to read all of Arnheim and, not incidentally, some of the later essays of Gombrich. Look into my eyes. Have you read Gombrich? And I don't mean just his Art and Illusion. Have you read Arnheim? All of Arnheim? Not start doing so now, instead of listening to JC. See you soon.